Hi everybody, my name is Janice Mosher and I am a teacher with My Virtual Academy. Today I would like to talk about how you should be planning for college. For a lot of students and parents, 11th grade seems to be the time that students get all worked up about colleges. But actually, if you start back in 8th and ninth grade and figure out what you're doing and where you're going, you really can make it an easy process. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about starting in 8th grade with your college planning. One of the things that you can do in 8th grade is you can consider taking an Algebra 1 class. The reason why we say take Algebra 1 in 8th grade is so by the time that you get to your senior year in high school that you can begin taking pre-calculus or calculus your senior year, and this looks really good on your application. The other thing also is to consider taking a foreign language this year also. One of the things people do not know is that Algebra 1 and a foreign language in 8th grade will transfer over to your high school transcript. So those are two things to think about. One of the things also you can do in 8th grade is to develop good study habits. Colleges look at your GPA from 9th through 11th grade. So if you can really work on getting good study habits, getting a schedule, talking to your teachers and your counselors, your parents, your guardians, and see what they do to make sure that they stay on track when trying to complete different tasks. That's a good idea of where to start. In 8th grade, you could also visit the websites of colleges you are interested in and see what the requirements are. If the requirements are that you have 4 years of science and the state of Michigan only requires you have 3 years of science, then that's something that you need to know before you start high school. Keep all of this in mind when you register for your high school classes, and let your counselor know and share it with your parents that you really want to go to college and you want to be on a preparatory program. When you get to 9th grade, this is your first year of high school. And a lot of people don't look at 9th grade very seriously, and that's a mistake. Because as I said, the colleges look at your GPA from 9th through 11th grade to see how well you've done. So in 9th grade, you still need to continue to work hard to get good grades. Most of your colleges will be reviewing your academic performance of what you did in 9th grade. Those study habits that you started in 8th grade, start working and, really fine tuning them so you know what you need to do in 9th grade to be successful for 10th, 11th, and 12th. One of the things I always like to tell the students is to start a notebook. If you start a notebook and it's simply for just college and applications and scholarships, then you'll have it all in one place. When you have a notebook, you can write down what do you want to be? What do you want to do after you graduate high school? Do you want to become a nurse? Do you want to be an attorney? There are colleges out there that specialize in these different programs. An example of this is I went to Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is known for their teaching degree. So I knew that I wanted to go to Eastern Michigan. On the other hand, Schoolcraft in Livonia is known for their culinary and their police officer's degree. So you really need to try to figure out what you want to do and then find a college or university that fits what you want to do in life. Keep track of the web addresses for these colleges and universities. Make sure that you have a list of what you need to do in high school in order to become accepted into these colleges and universities. And the most important thing is know your dates and deadlines. A lot of things are due in 11th grade, so if you're going to start looking for colleges or universities to go to in 12th grade, a lot of times you're already too late. In 9th grade, you should start volunteering so you can include these letters and experiences in your letter of introduction to the colleges. It doesn't, I mean, colleges love to hear from students. You could email them and ask them any question that you needed to. They like to hear from you. And also, one of the things about volunteering is it adds a little bit more about who you are and who you want people to see that you're all about. If you want to go into nursing or medical, why not go volunteer at a veterans hospital? They're in need of lots of volunteers, and administration will write you a letter stating that you came and you helped out and you volunteered. So these all add to your application when you go to apply for a college and university. For 10th grade, you need to sign up to take the ACT or SAT so you know what you have to do to get to the score your college will take. Every college has a score that they like to look at and say, okay, well, if you get a 20 on your ACT, this is one of the qualifications for getting into our school. You could even take your ACT and SAT in 8th or 9th grade. There's no law saying that you can't go sign up at the ACT website and take, the actual test. At least you know what your base number is, and you can only go up for there, and you have a couple of years to really get good at taking this test. So by the time you get to your 11th grade and the school offers it, you'll have a pretty good score because it won't be just the first time that you're seeing this test. You need to also dig deeper into the college websites. See what else is there. Start to look and note in your notebook what the costs are. Notice any changes in the requirements. In 10th grade, visit the colleges that most interest you. You need to really begin to identify what are your strengths academically. If you're really good at math, why don't you do engineering? If you're really good at math, you will know that that is a strength and that's something that you should pursue in a job. Also, if you have a passion that you're not very good in, let's say you want to be a nurse, but you're not very good in the sciences, you can really tutor yourself or get help within your school and really start to get better at whatever it takes for you to follow your dreams and your passions. During the summer months of your 10th grade, I suggest maybe participating in workshops or community programs. What about a job shadow? It's a great time to job shadow. You want to know what an attorney does? Go to the courthouse. Go to an attorney's office and ask them if you can job shadow them. Speaking of the courthouse, you can go into any courtroom that you want to. We all own a little square of it in the building. So go in there and sit in on a court case. As long as you're polite and sit in the back, you can really see how the legal system works. So 10th grade going into 11th grade is really a great time to begin job shadowing and see if this particular line of school or jobs is even for you. In 11th grade, this is the biggest slide I have, and there's a reason for it. Because 11th grade, a lot of people get acceptance to go to the colleges by November of their 11th grade. So you can say you want to go to a college and college can accept you in 11th grade in November. And for athletes, this is when it usually happens. This is the first time that a college can reach out to an athlete that they're interested in and offer them a scholarship of some sort and get their acceptance to go to their college. So in 11th grade, you want to still continue to maintain good grades. When colleges or universities look at your grade point average or GPA in high school, they look from 9th through 11th grade. These are the grades that the college admission officials will be reviewing. We talked about taking the ACT or SAT between March and June. This particular test, the state of Michigan pays one time for you to take it at your high school, and it is a required test. So if you take it in March, between March and June, which schools offer it, a March time, and you're not happy with your score, you know what? You get another chance to take it in the summertime so that you can get a better score, going into your senior year. Another thing you want to do is those college websites that you were looking at, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, now you need to narrow your search to 3 to 5 colleges. What do you really like about 3 to 5 colleges that are in your notebook or on your list of places to go? Also in 11th grade, you need to establish an email account that you plan to use just for college admissions and check it often. A lot of times colleges will email you with due dates, and they'll let you know other things that they're offering and just things that are going on campus that you would be, as a prospective enrollee, interested in. One note about establishing your email. If you are going to do an email to a college or even to a job, if you're applying for a job, any kind of professional email, you really need to choose your email wisely. So for instance, if you want to be Jim and Qatar hippie at yahoo.com, that's probably not a good idea. Save that for your social email. Really come up with a good email, dynamic student at yahoo.com. I mean, really think about your email and make it professional. Another thing to think about in 11th grade is you might even want to start a comparison worksheet. Pull up an Excel doc and, at the top, put schools, cost of living, books, how long it'll take you. So there's, let's start a comparison worksheet and just see what the difference is in the colleges. Are you going to live at home? Are you going to live on campus? Are you going to go year round? So in 11th grade, try to visit as many colleges and universities that interest you. The other thing you should be doing now in 11th grade is to search for potential scholarships. There's a lot of free online search services, but two of my favorite is fastweb.com, and here's an example of it. So you can go through here and they will look, you put in information, they'll manage it for you, and they'll come up with matches of potential schools and scholarships you can apply for. Another website I really like is www.findaid.org. And this particular website, they have other types of aids. It's just really a good website to go through. And as you can see, there's lots of scholarships. So this is the latest and greatest that they offer to try to find scholarships on a federal level. Most of your local scholarships, whether it's a credit union or maybe it's an Eagles Club, that would be on the local level, and we'll get to that on the next screen. For 12th grade, yay, almost there. So what happens in 12th grade is most people get what's known as senioritis. What that means is, you know what, you're just tired of school, you want to plan spring break, you really don't want to plan college. But in 12th grade, you need to keep your grades up. You need to continue to be focused. I know of a couple of students that weren't really focused in their senior year, and even though they got admitted to colleges and they got scholarships, because they failed miserably in 12th grade, the colleges came and took away or rescinded the admission for that student to go to that college that following fall. So really keep your grades up. In 12th grade, You should be those 3 to 5 schools that you were really looking hard at. You should apply for admission to those 3 to 5 colleges that interest you by October of your senior year. So as soon as you start your senior year, start applying for those 3 to 5 colleges that interest you. Visit the colleges. Many colleges offer day trips or overnight trips, and you can shadow students that are there. All high schools have a financial aid workshop. So check your school district or ask your mentor or teacher or counselor, when is our financial aid workshop? There's a lot of information in there about how to pay for college. One of the things that you have to do and is required is you have to fill out a form called FAFSA. And FAFSA is I'm going to go to the website here, but FAFSA is a federal form. And what the federal government wants to know is they have money for people to go to college, but you have to meet certain requirements to get the government money. So what FAFSA does is they take your parents' taxes, they ask you some questions, and they put it all together, and then they give you a little score. And they let you know if you are eligible for grants or for loans or for the work program. So FAFSA is something that we all have to do, and it lets you know a little bit more if, do you have to take out loans that you have to repay, or are you eligible to get some grants? One last thing I want to tell you for that last slide. You have to pay attention to due dates. A lot of times if you get accepted into a college, you want to make sure that you turn in the $100 deposit fee for them to look at your application or for acceptance. In any colleges that you're really not interested in, then let them know that you're not interested in them. But your senior year in the fall, we already talked about a couple of things you need to be doing, but some of the other things you need to be doing is attend a college fair or have a meeting with a college representative. Start to apply to colleges online. Request your ACT and transcripts be sent to the colleges you really want to go to. And this is done through the school. So if you have any questions, you could call your teacher or your mentor, and we can get you to the right places about where you can find the person to send your ACT or transcripts out to these colleges that you're applying to. Senior year, fall time, research the scholarship opportunities and pay attention to the deadlines. Once they're gone, they're gone. Also in fall, schedule a visit to go to the colleges you want to attend. Football games, home football games, just like in high school. When you go to college, it's a great time to go and see how the campus is. Sometimes we look at things in brochures and on websites and we think, wow, I want to go there. And then when we visit, it just doesn't have the vibe we want. So schedule a visit to go to the colleges that you want to attend. Senior year, in winter, you need to complete the financial aid process online, which was that FAFSA we just went over, and attend a financial aid workshop. We talked about that. Your financial aid forms need to be at the college by February 15th. And you should really be continuing to research and apply for scholarship opportunities. Springtime, you're almost done with high school. In the springtime, you want to start to apply for local scholarships. This would be your Eagles Club, your credit union. Sometimes mom and pop shops offer different scholarships, and most of them are due in April of that year. But really look into it on those other, when you're looking for scholarships to apply for, on that other slide that we had, a lot of the scholarship will tell you deadlines or ones that are open. So when you do the scholarships, it's important to know Sometimes that there's scholarships. You can look on the college you want to go to. There's tons of scholarships if you want to go into the sciences or, engineering, but they all have certain requirements that they need to have. For instance, I'll give you a for instance. When I went over to Eastern, there was a scholarship that I could apply for, but one of the requirements was that I had to come from a deceased, have a parent that was deceased when I was growing up. I had to live in Roseville. So there's only people with those certain kind of qualifications or requirements are able to apply for those certain scholarships. You can go to any college that you're looking into and just look at the different scholarships that are there. Some of them are only offered to females with children in the home. Some are offered to males. Some are offered to African Americans. Some are offered to, just veterans. So there's tons of different requirements for those scholarships, and now would be the time to look into them. One of the things you can do, and this is great to do, is you finish high school in June. Why not pack up your bags and go right to college that first summer semester? By going to school and not waiting till the fall, you get to start college in the summer. It's easier, there's less people there. You can set up, if you're gonna, stay at college, you can get your dorm set up with not a lot of people around. You can get a really good vibe about what the college is about, and you'll get to know people, and you can kind of ease into it instead of just showing up on move-in day with thousands of other kids. So that's just something that's an option for you, is to start the summer after you graduate high school. I've been talking about funding this whole live session, and what I want you to know is there's a couple ways to fund college. One of them is grants. Now, if you get a grant, you do not have to pay it. What it is, when you fill out your FAFSA form, maybe your parents don't make a lot of money, or maybe you were had a guardian, and so the state was kind of involved, where foster homes or whatever. A lot of times when you fill out the FAFSA form, they'll say, hey, here's some grant money to help you out. That means you don't have to repay it. Scholarships we've talked about, you don't have to repay them. Work study programs is another way to pay for college, and that's just to earn money to help you pay for college. So you actually work. Student loans, these are the ones that everybody talks about. Students' loans, you have to pay back these loans with interest. So if you get a loan, and let's say, a lot of people, they get loans, and maybe they get $15,000 each semester to go to school. Well, you get the money, and if you don't spend it all, you get it back in your pocket after the college takes out what they need to. But just remember, when you graduate, you have to start repaying these loans, and now there's interest. So the cheaper you can go to college and not have any of these loans on your back when you first start out with your first job as a college graduate, the better off you are. And as I said, this right here is the different types of aid that is offered to students. So that's another place to look. One of the things I want to touch on, which is special to Michigan, is it's known as the TIP program, the Tuition Assistance Program. And what the TIP program does is, if you have ever received government aid from the state of Michigan, you may be eligible for your college to be paid for. So when I talk about government aid, what I can tell you is, let's say your mom or dad lost their job, or just it was a rough time, and you had to, your family had to go on Medicaid, or you were put on Medicaid as a minor. Well, if you had any kind of government benefits between age 9 and high school completion for at least 24 months within a 36 consecutive month period during 9 and when you complete school, you're probably eligible to have your college or university paid for. So this would not include books, and it would not include rent. It would just include the classes. So one thing that you can do is call 888-447-2687, and you can do this as young as 12, and ask the state of Michigan if you do apply. So even if you had, if you were on Medicaid and let's say you were 14 and you met all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden mom or dad got a job, or you got off Medicaid by the time you were 17, you are still eligible for these benefits. So I really would really push everybody. If you think this is for you, it's a great way to be able to get your college paid for. So call the number. Here's the website. If you go to the website, you can see here, this is all about the incentive program. So there's a lot of information here. It tells you what your eligibility is. And it also shows you there's 2 different phases. The phase 1 is really for a community college or anything, a certificate or associate's program. Maybe you want to go to beauty school, something like that. And then there is a phase 2, which is you complete phase 1, and then you get to go on to phase 2, which is for all these colleges here, private and public. So it's just a great thing to know about. Here's Macomb Community College. They accept 1. They don't accept phase 2 because it's only associate degree. But if you look here at Madonna or Michigan State, you can go there for 4 years. So it's just a great way. And it's a lot of people don't know about it. So call that number and see if you qualify. And then when you get ready to graduate school, you have all that information in front of you. So I just want to say thank you. I know I'm a little long-winded here. The code word for today is pumpkin. And I just want you to know, if you have any questions, you can contact me at janice.m@atsedu.net, or you can contact your mentor about finding out about how to pay for college and some of these other things. We're here to help you. So even if we don't have the answers, we'll find them out for you. Thanks for listening, and remember the code word pumpkin so you can get some extra credit. Thanks. Bye.